He works on research, policy development, and implementation support for conservation, restoration, and sustainable agriculture initiatives. Like Bob, Bernardo has an enormous list of contributions. I'll read just a few: designing the first international REDD+ incentive mechanism, co-developing Brazil's national restoration plan, serving as the lead author of the global assessment and the values assessment of the IIS, leading the first global analysis of priority areas for restoration, which is supporting national and local scale restoration policy implementation. Bernardo's work really focuses on synergies between the 3 Rio Conventions and the SDGs, which is of course incredibly important for this conversation.
I'd like to thank the organizers for the kind invitation, and you all for being here to spend the day. Thank you to the fellow panelists, particularly Bob, who set up the scene quite nicely. So if anyone wants to complain about prioritization, please do complain to Bob, not to me. That being said, I'm here to present the work we've been doing on request of the CBD. It's the first global exercise of priority areas for restoration. And I'd like to set it out from early on that, of course, restoration provides multiple benefits and multiple costs, and these operate at multiple scales. So although there is demand for a global priority exercise for restoration, that obviously should be complemented by similar exercises at regional, national, and local levels. Why do global priorities for restoration in spatial way? Well, benefits of restoration, costs of restoration, they vary spatially. And they vary spatially in different ways. And when something like that happens, you have a tremendous potential for finding synergies and avoiding trade-offs. So that's what we wanted to do. This started while we were co-developing Brazil's National Restoration Plan, and it had a target of 12 million hectares, and it became very clear early on that doing 12 million hectares of restoration would be good, but doing the best places would be tremendously more important than in the worst places. But there was no specific tool to help address that. And so we developed a tool with a group of multi-stakeholders and multidisciplinary team. And that tool, we wanted it to do 3 things. First, it needed to be completely flexible. So we would be able to include whatever benefits, whatever costs, the stakeholders in questions wanted to include. Because these vary, as I said, across scale, across places, in different regions, for different stakeholders. So it is completely flexible to include any kind of benefits and costs you would like. Second, we wanted to be really precise. There are packages out there that do a tremendous good job on helping to prioritize conservation and restoration of the space, but they have at least 30% in efficiency. We didn't want to live with that, so we wanted to do something to find the mathematical optimal solution for whatever the stakeholders wanted to do. And thirdly, we want to measure the benefits, not only produce maps, but to measure the benefits of the different choices so we can provide evidence for stakeholders to decide what to do. We did this for the first time for the Atlantic Forest, has been published earlier this year in Nature, Ecology and Evolution, and now we move to the global scale. I don't have time to go into the whole methodology here. I would just like to highlight that it starts and ends with people, with consultation. It starts with talking with people, what do they want from restoration, what costs they want to avoid, and it finishes with them validating that. There's a lot of mathematics in the middle. So at a global level, it's the first exercise of this kind. We identified 2.9 billion hectares of converted lands, which are not urban areas, that we then prioritize them all. We focus on 3 things. Reducing the risks of extinctions, and we individually analyze over 20,000 species to do this, maximizing carbon uptake, and minimize conflicts with agriculture. And we focus on the 5 major types of ecosystems, and this was something very important for us. And in order to do that, because, and I don't need to tell you guys, whereas restoration is about, among the several different rehabilitation pathways above highlighted, it's about putting back the original type of ecosystem that was there. In broad terms, not identical, but what we want to avoid is putting forests where grasslands used to be, for example. And in order to do that, we needed to find what these ecosystems were in the first place. And we did that. So without further ado, this is the first global map of priority areas for restoration. First, looking only on minimizing extinctions. So the areas in red, the darker red, are the areas that avoid the most extinctions per hectare. And one interesting thing here is that although the usual predictable patterns apply along the tropics, in islands, in mountains, because of the way we evaluate extinction rates and because of the high resolution we have here, land use data coming in at 300 meters, we identify little dots of top global priorities in nearly every country, from Baltic Islands to Tierra del Fuego. Now, we did the same thinking now only on carbon. And here what you see is basically a map of forests, the ones with the higher amount of potential carbon sequestration, and peatlands also come out quite strongly. We did the same, wanting to minimize the conflicts with agriculture, and here what we see is priorities, basically areas of drylands and some other areas with low agricultural returns in general. But crucially, what we want to do is to do these three things at the same time. And that's part of the two. We developed the ability to simultaneously optimize for biodiversity, for carbon, for minimizing costs. And this is one of the maps of the 1,200 versions of it that you could choose to maximize things at the same time. Now, a few final messages coming from this. We have a longer presentation in the afternoon with more detail. One standout message is the importance of doing spatial prioritization. And it can be illustrated by the fact that the same area target, for the same 5% restoration of the world, we can reduce extinctions by anything between 4% and 43%, just depending on where we do. An 11-fold difference. The relative importance of the different biomes when we're thinking about different goals is crucial. It's highlighted here by the importance, for instance, of wetlands being proportionally even more important than forests for biodiversity, and shrublands coming in, savannas coming in quite strongly soon afterwards. Another standout result is the major contribution of the targets we already have. So I target 15, 10 years ago. And if we meet that, we would offer contributions that would reduce global extinctions that by 2/3 just by that target restoration. The same thing for carbon. That's 326 billion tons of CO2 if we were to prioritize carbon. Just to put that into context, this number is equivalent to 91% of the remaining emission budget we have if we were to keep below the 1.5 degrees. We better do it, like Greta will shout at us. Now about trade-offs. A very important aspect of this is that if we go for the corner solutions, if we prioritize biodiversity only, or if we prioritize carbon only, we lose quite a bit of the other benefits. But if we look for the synergies and we solve simultaneously, we can get most of them together. If we focus on minimizing costs, we have a very weak environmental performance. But if we include costs and the benefits into the same equation, we have, of course, a little bit less of absolute outcomes, but cost effectiveness increases 7-fold. So that further highlights, final two slides, the difference between national and global priorities is a very important thing to do. There are many political sensitive aspects here, but the main important message is that if countries prioritize independently, they will go for the blue areas and the green areas. And what happens is, all the areas in red, they are global priorities for the things we want to achieve, and they will not be included in national priorities. So the importance of international collaborations, and the UN DAC is here for that, and everything we heard these days can help a lot with this. Final message, we can do a lot without displacing food production. We did this analysis looking at the potential to close the yield gaps and then restoring that. And we can still have 96% of those potential benefits if we stick to areas where we're not displacing food production because we're increasing productivity in the landscape approach. Finally, the cost effectiveness of restoration. Restoration, 2/3 of what we can achieve globally can already be achieved with current carbon prices, and we're still in a low level of the market. The tool we generated can assist and is assisting implementation at several levels. As I said, it operates up to 300 meters for each of those pixels. We have a lot of information. It's available. We'd like to collaborate with you all. We build it for this. It can operate from farm level to global scale. Of course, huge collective exercise, many of you here in the room, thank you. And I'll leave my conclusions in the screen. No, thank you very much.
That was a powerful example of the need for collaboration, and thank you for sharing those embargoed results. Our last panel